Hello and welcome to my solution to Challenge 5 of Chapter 4. This challenge was to create a reusable component and use this in a main component with signals. Two product data files were provided. And you saw that the main component had two buttons, and hovering the mouse over these caused the data to load and the select category drop-down to be populated, and selecting a category displayed the products in that category. Okay, so where would you start on this challenge, knowing you have 4 components to write? Well, that's really up to you. No wrong nor right. I am starting with the signals files. Just a preference. The requirement said 1 for each product and to include a fetch. You know the format for signal files that we have used so far. Define signal using state and have getter is setter functions as needed. Here we are not updating data, so no setters, but we do need the fetch function, and we already have a fetchutils, so we could use that or just reuse the code and modify in the signals file. Okay, here is my shopProductsSignals.svelte.js file. Remember that extension is needed. As mentioned, declare the signal with state, add the getter function. Now, the fetch function. I'm leaving code here showing that you could recreate the fetch function from scratch specific to this product file, Exhibit A. But why, when you already have a reusable, tested, working, fetchutils.js, Exhibit B? So, I import the fetchutils and I end up with a simpler fetch shopProducts function. Hope that makes sense. And that's all there is to that signals file. And now you might well be thinking, okay, so why have another signals files that's essentially going to do the same thing for the next product signals file? Good thought. Note that the requirements did specify separate files. Had it not, then you would have to consider a few things: separation of concerns, scalability, and maintainability. Having separate files here is good for separation of concerns, but you have more files to maintain and duplication of code, neither of which are great, right? On the other hand, if you had one generic signals file, you have centralized management and less boilerplate, which is good, but you have more complexity with tight coupling where changes to one signal might impact others. And that's not so good, right? So, for simplicity, we will have 2 separate files, and so you could just copy this code now and create sportsProductSignals.svelte.js and modify to suit the sports product, which just means changing some names. Here is my sportsProductSignal.svelte.js. As you can see, other than exhibits and naming, it's identical to shopProductSignal.svelte.js. Okay, so our signals files are completed. Which next? Main component or reusable? I'm going with reusable. I can do that without it affecting anything else. What did the requirements call for? A. Accepts an array of products, array of objects with name, category. B. Reactively updates and displays a list of unique categories, including an all option. B. Filters products based on the selected category. Okay, here is my code for productFilter.svelte, which I place in lib components as a reusable component. First, we receive the array as props. Objective are completed. Set some state and then an $effect to update categories with all and use set so I get unique categories. Objective B mostly completed, just display to handle. Next, a function to do the filtering. Note that this is declared as an arrow function to ensure it behaves as a function expression. It's self-explanatory and we will use it in the display below. You may have used an $effect here instead of a function, and that would also be fine. So, I have code for that but commented out the code with instruction of what to do to use this instead of the arrow function. Okay, so we have just about achieved the objectives and just need to display. In the markup, we first show the category drop-down. Next, the filtered products are displayed using a ternary operator. Yes, this can be used in markup as well as script. If category all is chosen, display product and category else just product. And that completes the reusable component with all the requirements met. This leaves is with the main component to pull it all together, which is often what main components do, they organize. Here is my ch5_product_loader.svelte code. We import the signals we need from both product signals files, and we import the reusable product filter and set some state. Next, we have two async functions which call the fetch functions from the signal files, and that's the script. In the markup, as per requirements, we display two columns each with a button and a product filter. The button listens for the events onMouseOver and onFocus to trigger the local data handler functions, which call the signals fetch functions to load the data. Also, the buttons are disabled if the data is loaded. After the button, the product filter component is called with the products, using the signals file set function to ensure products is always up to date. And that completes the requirements for the main component, and now all components are complete. Here are the key concepts covered. 1. Reactivity, the use of signals, $state, $derived.by to manage and reactively update product data. 2. State management, managing product data, shop and sports, with reactive signals for dynamic updates. 3. Event handling, triggering functions on events like mouseover and focus. 4. Component communication, passing product data as props to the product filter component for display and filtering. 5. Asynchronous data loading, fetching product data asynchronously and updating the UI once the data is loaded. And that is a wrap on Challenge 5. How did it go? If you came up with a different solution and care to share, drop me an email. If you find any exercise or challenge useful, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I have another video coming up for Challenge 6. See you there.